We should all aspire to be Keanu Reeves. We should all aspire to be Keanu Reeves.
What is happening to me? I'm burning up.
It's gonna be okay, Lizzie.
Oh, it's not. Oh, God, it's not. Listen to me. Something is wrong. Something is wrong with me.
Lizzie, I know. That's why we need to get you help.
I'm dying. I'm dying. What's happening? What's happening?
Oh, my God.
What's happening?
I don't know.
Oh, my God. What is it?
I don't know. What the fuck?
Okay, alive. It's bugs. Help me. Help me, darling. Help me.
You know what you have to do?
Well, you know what happened.
What's up, cyberspace cadets? It's IRATE Prostate. It's Thursday. It's the 4th of July. And you know what that means? It's time for Hot Takes with the Butter Baron. And in the house with me tonight is, of course, my brother, the Butter Baron. How's it going, man?
Fam.
That's right.
Ooh, sorry.
You okay?
Still a little sick.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've been worried about the Butter Baron, but trying to get him to go to a fucking Doc in the Box, but he won't do it.
Nope. I need to pay some quack, some money.
Okay. And he's just going to tell you what. Just it'll go away eventually.
Land back.
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, all right. Let's see. For the people, the Americans in the audience tonight, happy 4th of July. And to you Canadians and Brits and all that shit, happy Thursday.
Also, we have been blessed. We have a goat man in the chat.
Goat!
So you know this is going to be a good live stream.
My Canadian goaty friend. What's up, dude? You know what? I got a sheep. That's for you, my man. That's for you, goat man. All right. Well, shit. We're here to talk about a movie that's on Netflix. It became available right at the end of May, so it's only been out about a month. And there's a lot of buzz going around about this thing. You know what I'm saying, man? You
Yeah,
seen any of that?
there certainly is.
It's. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say I've got kind of the lineup side of it. I cannot find what I was looking for. Anyway.
So, while you look for your lineup,
I got the lineup right. Go ahead.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
So the director is Richard.
This dude.
What was his name?
Richard Shepard. He also wrote it and had two other writers, Nicole Snyder and Eric Carmelo. Let me move our things. We're kind of obscuring this dude's face.
Know that face, people. Know that face.
Yeah, he's the director, and he's said this movie that we're fixing to talk about was inspired by the director that he's a Korean director, did Old Boy, all right, did the original Old Boy, and did one of the Three Extremes. I don't know if anybody's seen that. It's excellent trilogy of Asian horror, Chinese horror, Korean horror, and Japanese horror. Good shit.
Yeah, but didn't he also direct Girls?
This guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and the main character, Allison Williams, who plays Charlotte, was in Girls.
Yeah, and just so our audience knows, Girls is the show that was written by Lena Dunham and starred Lena Dunham.
Yeah,
Lena, whatever. I jog on hot days, Dunham. It doesn't matter. If you watched that show, then you get a a vibe, a very big vibe from this movie. So that's something. Keep this in mind as we're going through and you know, explaining the premise and everything, because it actually matters.
Yeah, well, see, the main character, Charlotte, played by Allison Williams, who is Brian Williams' daughter, the news guy. Lion Brian.
What
Brian
else
Williams.
did she star in?
The Girls. She was a cast member of Girls.
Sorry, not. I was thinking the other main character.
Oh, all right. Logan Browning.
Yeah.
She was. Oh God, I have to pull it up.
I think I can tell you.
But
Dear White People.
that's right. Yep, she was. In Dear White People. She plays Mrs. White or Miss White.
Season 1 and 2.
Okay. So yeah, the wokeness factor is elevated on paper for this thing. Includes Elena Huffman, who's really one of my favorite actresses. She played Abaddon on Supernatural. I don't know. I still watch it. I'm a sucker for dumbass shit like that. But yeah, she's sexy.
I love Supernatural. Come on now, it's amazing.
It's good stuff, man.
It is.
And, Stephen Weber rounds out the cast. And I think that if he had not been in it, this thing wouldn't have worked at all.
Yeah, I would agree. And I'm glad to see Stephen Weber's back at making movies, even though he had that whole incident that happened a while back.
Oh, yeah? But did he have some kind of unfortunate series of events happen in his life?
I believe that he did blackface on... let me double check real quick.
We all did blackface in college.
No. Like recently.
Hey, Tamara, welcome. Welcome to the chat. Let's see what's, of course, we said hey to Goatman, Kefke. What's up? Jacob Jet. Thanks for popping by. Butter Baron, of course, my man. Uzi Q, my woman. And William Stenchever, the one and only Billy Stench.
I must correct myself. I think I was wrong on that actor.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's like a 50% chance if you're Caucasian and you're over the age of 40, the probability of you getting Me Too'd is pretty fucking high in Hollywood right now.
Yeah. Pretty crazy high. Yeah.
It is. I think it's an inflated sense of alert. All right. So I guess, all right, so those are the folks, man. The main players, the director, Richard Shepard, who had directed, as Brian said, several episodes of Girls. And let's just go to the main page. And you know what I forgot to do?
So we got my grandpa William Stench over in chat, and we got Tamro. What up, Tamro? How you doing? And we've got Godbother, who says that my cooking is worse than dodgy Indian restaurant in Hyderabad. I don't know where that is.
Hyderabad,
but
yeah,
I don't know anything about that. But you know, I think it is funny because he keeps constantly asking me for a tiramisu. So maybe you'll get that tiramisu, sir.
Tiramisu.
Tiramapoo. It's gonna be like The Help, you know, where I make a chocolate cake. It got my shit in it.
Dude. Oh crap! I forgot to load the damn slideshow in.
Oh damn!
I know.
Oh no!
I'm embarrassed, and all that.
Well, that's fine.
I was doing a whole bunch of work and stuff.
I mean, you showed the trailer, and the trailer has pretty much got the gist of it.
Yeah, and I wanted to have these these images, rolling back like per our look. And we got it going now. Okay.
Oh, sweet. Okay, you found it. Cool.
Yeah.
I don't know what size that is, but it's got to be like I don't know, like 4K going on there.
It was ginormous, man. I cut it down. I scrunk it. I scrunk it.
There
Ouija.
we go. Yeah.
Hey, man. Hey, Ouija.
Oh, hey, what's up, Ouija?
Godfather touches little boy.
Jesus Christ.
This is getting personal, y'all.
Woo! Yeah, back to the movie.
Hashtag ad hominem. All right. So this movie takes place in 4 parts. I don't know if you caught that, Brian.
I did catch that, actually.
Did catch that, right? And first part's called Mission. Second part, Detour. Third part, Home. And the final part is known as Duet.
Duet.
Because this is a movie about classical music, the cello,
Sort of, yeah, I guess.
and the perfection.
There we go. It's more about the perfection. But so the intro of this movie, right? These 2 girls meet. The African American girl is a huge fan of the other girl, and they both go to the same school for learning how to play cello, and their concert level. Is it celloist or celloese?
Cellist.
Anyway, you find out they're scissor sisters, and
What, man? You got okay. Let's back that shit up, okay? Because all right, they're in China, okay, and this chick comes in like in this hot fucking. You see it right now. That Chinese dress that she's wearing is like holy shit.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
So it was hot, and then the passion between them kind of built up, and then they get it's hot and steamy for like the first, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes of the movie.
It's like a very nice softcore.
Yeah, exactly, man. And they really didn't do a whole lot of visual reveals, but they didn't need to. It was kind of sexy. I mean, I gotta admit.
The sex scene clearly had some body doubles, because there's no way that woman's boobs are that big.
I didn't see any boobs.
Yeah. I saw some boobs, and I was like, those are like double D's, and she's got like an A, so I don't know what's going on here.
Oh, maybe a miscast.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, whatever. I'm okay with the double D's on the screen. When in doubt, go up in cup size.
No doubt, dude. No doubt. Oh, man. So, okay. Let's see. So they meet each other. The African-American girl, the one that's not wearing that beautiful dress, is like, she's the star, and she's a star cellist. And they meet each other, and they realize that they had gone to the same school together. The movie opens up with this old woman dying of I don't know. She looked like she had a stroke and been in the bed a long, long time. And the main character, Charlotte, had to go home. She had to leave the school. This is a prestigious school where literally all the students that go there are handpicked all over the world. All right, because they're cellist prodigies, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They have the thin, fine-boned fingers, and they are rather good at plucking the strings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why they're chosen, and these two do a lovely duet together, and the duet is clearly symbolism for lesbian sex, which is ironic because they immediately after have lesbian sex.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought that was fine. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a nice build-up, and I gotta say that the way that this movie is put together is pretty good. It's got, the cinematography's on point. It's clear that their intent for symbolism was exactly what they conveyed.
Right.
So, you know, if you're trying to get your point across, that's a good thing. I mean, on whether or not I agree with the point is a sidestep, but that's how you make a good movie, you know? So I would say that on on the writing of this movie and the actual directing, it was pretty good, except the conversation between them right before they're getting ready to have their weird lesbian sex thing that happens. It's like a 12-year-old boy wrote it, kind of.
Yeah. There's moments. Yeah.
I'm just like, Jesus Christ, do lesbians cringe this much? Because my back is broken. This is cringy as shit.
Yeah. So all right. So after that, the younger chick says, "Hey man, why don't you like pal around with me, man? I like to slumming it in China, in the countryside of China for a couple of weeks. Why don't you come with me?
Let's go on a romantic lesbian vacation.
Bump clams and dig the Chinese countryside.
We'll snail trail the whole side of this here mountain."
And so yeah, she says, "Okay, yeah, man, that'll be fine. You know, let's do that shit. Let's do this thing." And the night before, they had noticed that this guy had gotten sick and was throwing up, and they overheard these Chinese people talking. They asked them what was going on, and the Chinese people said that there was some kind of hemorrhagic fever that was going on in the Hunan province, and they were afraid it was spreading, right? So that kind of sets up what happens when they're on the bus going into the country.
I don't know, like, how much of that was suggestion, really? Because there was one guy who barfs.
Yeah.
But technically you don't know whether or not he was sick or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. No, right.
Yeah.
No, nobody knows exactly what was going on, but the people were afraid. Seeing the vomit, freaked them out. And
please put mask on, not for you, for us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so on the bus, the chick gets sick, and it's kind of like she starts, she's got to take a shit, man, and I'm going to shit myself, and she's got a bad headache, and she's just kind of freaking out and stuff, and so they eventually pull it over. She takes the dump, and then she gets back on, and then she starts throwing up. She throws up this yellow puke, man, on the window of the bus, right? And in that yellow puke is a bunch of worms squirming around. That's right.
She got the tapeworm.
She got the vermis, man.
Blech.
Yeah.
Yep. It's pretty gross.
It is. And
we got
so
Seamus Derby in the chat.
Seamus Derby. What's up, dude?
Oh, it's Seamus? My bad.
It looks like Seamus. I mean,
look, I grew up in the era of Hooked on Phonics. I don't know anything about the English language.
Dude. Oh, Lord. All right, so they make them pull the bus over again because she's sick to her stomach, and the bus driver says, "Fuck you, get off my bus, I'm sick of your shit," and throws their luggage and stuff. So they're going along, and so the girl that's sick is in front of the girl that's not sick, and the girl that's sick turns around and she starts like scratching at her arms, and it looks like there's like these bugs crawling underneath her skin and shit. And then they bust through and start crawling all over her arms. And then the girl looks at her and goes, "Oh, they're all in your hand, man. They're all in your hand." And she says, boom, she pulls up and she's got a fucking meat cleaver.
Yeah.
Right? And the chick grabs it and says, "Fuck it," boom, and chops her right hand off.
Yep. And you know what? At that point, I'm thinking to myself, look, I don't care how drugged out you are. the question of where the fuck did you get that meat cleaver is popping to mind at that point.
Right.
You know, like,
but they rewind
hey,
and they close that hole.
No.
Yeah.
But, so they close the hole for where she got it, but
Yeah.
why, like, the friend questioning where you got that meat cleaver and why you have it on you?
Well, we'll explain. What happens is that after this point happens, it rewinds real quickly, right? And it fills in all this stuff that happened in the story that they didn't tell you, to begin with, right? So it's kind of a cheating away. That way they take up more time.
That's actually bad technique.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's very bad technique.
So, they go back and show that she had like given her these pills that her mom, had been taking, and if you combine them with alcohol, it makes you hallucinate and makes you sick and shit. So we find out that she's done this on purpose. She set this girl up on purpose so she would cut off her hand. And then it starts looking like this single white female shit, right? Where she's there, she took the bitch out, so she's gonna take her place. And that ends the detour part of the movie. Right? Mission was them meeting and getting together, and then the detour was the trip. And then when they home is when they get back to the United States, to the back off. Did you catch that? Back off? Back off. BACHOFF. I was like, okay, dude. School. The prestigious learning center for classical cello. And it's run by Steven Weber, whose character, I cannot remember his character's name is Anton, of course. Anton and Paloma, who was a former student herself. And then it kind of gets into how everything relates, the dynamics of how the relationship at that school works between the headmaster and his two, I guess there are other teachers too, right? The two other dudes, or were they just lackeys or something? Brian.
I think that they were, the two other dudes were sort of like, I'm assuming A, that they were family members, and B, that they were like technically instructors. They were like the people that he had in the room to threaten the people into learning how to play violin.
Right. And I was thinking that there were, one probably taught like shit like English and stuff like that. Right.
Yeah.
And so where are we? We're at home. All right. So go ahead.
We're at the point where they have that little Asian girl that they bring in, who kind of looks like the little Asian girl on the bus that they met.
Yeah.
And she's there to learn how to play, and someday she'll be able to play in the golden room or the sun room or whatever they called it.
She'll play the perfection.
She'll play the perfection, yes. And it's like, you get a very creepy vibe, which is, clearly ideal. That was the point. That they want you to feel creeped out by these people, which if you've ever been in a prestigious school where you're learning to do something like that, those people are kind of creepy just in general. I'm gonna say that.
Well, this movie, I was gonna say this movie kind of like has masks. It's like the first mask is the romance, and they take that off, and then it's single white female disguised as a revenge movie, right? And then the ending, of course, we can get to that too, which kind of reminded me of Last House on the Left meets Old Boy, in a weird way.
The misdirection is good. I don't know if changing the style of the movie, from...
The gear shift. It's
Yeah,
notable,
the gear
isn't it?
shift from each act was not super fluid.
Right.
For instance, we talked about in the first act them having that the rewind where they go back and they show you. It's sort of like Sixth Sense, but Sixth Sense did the rewind right, and they did not do theirs right.
Right.
And you know, if you're gonna do it that way, that's fine, but you have to sort of keep continuity throughout the movie. You know.
Right.
So in this second act, they have like flashbacks, but they're not really super detailed or anything. You know, it's just left to your imagination.
Yeah, a little sketchy. More like-
Exactly. And you can't be very precise in act 1 and then super super vague in act 2. That is just bad. It's not good.
Yeah.
Either you're gonna half-ass it and hack all the way through, or you're gonna do these, which, by the way, vague flashbacks are also sort of a shitty mechanism to get to your, climax of your story.
Yeah, I want to let Brittany know that she's still on my server, and she could pop straight in the studio.
Yeah, the icon has changed to a black and white guy with a pipe.
Oh, my thing?
Yeah,
It
yours
looks
is.
more like a triangle. Oh, no, it's Bob. You're right.
Yeah, it's Bob. Yeah, because I had the problem trying to find your server
I'm
too.
sorry, dude. It's J.R.
It's
Bob
no big
Dobbs
deal.
now. Yeah.
I mean, look at my server. I change that icon every 3
Nice
seconds.
pipe. I like the pipe in his mouth.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, so I did think that that's where, you really start to see some of the cracks in the directing right there.
Right.
Because it's like he's using every trick in the book to show you a low-end story. And there's a lot with what they had going on.
Yeah, I mean,
There's a lot
and
you
the
could
sex
do.
was so hot. It was almost like, that's kind of, that was his forte was, the sex shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Brittany.
absolutely.
Greetings,
Hello.
Brittany.
I have a lot to say about this movie, but I'll wait and let you guys explain.
Yeah, let's get through the story a little bit here so that people understand what happened before we actually give our synopsis.
If you don't like spoilers, then this is the time to get the fuck out. Okay?
Yeah, but I'm being honest with you. I mean, like, at a certain point, me and Brittany and I think Ouija were watching this, and when we were watching it, I said something. I'm like, "This is what's gonna happen." And then what happened, Brittany?
It happened. We all did something
Yeah.
like that. We were all like, "This is gonna happen," or "This is gonna happen."
There's a lot of
Yeah.
leans, tropey leans that.
It was super tropey leans, and they say that it's unpredictable, but it's really not very
It's not.
unpredictable.
All right, so here's the deal. All right, it's like almost four different stories glued together. And the glue is like that shifting gears. It's like, it's like grinding gears, man.
It's almost like somebody wrote each individual act separately.
Maybe, yeah. Because there were 3 writers. So that makes sense.
That might be it.
That one wrote the beginning and the end, and then the other 2 filled in the middle. That kind of makes sense too, doesn't it? And so, at this point, this is when the girl that cut her hand off gets revenge by kidnapping the other bitch because they kick her out of the school. They said, "Well, you're no good to us, man. You only got one hand. What the fuck? Bye." And after when they do that, she freaks out and tases the Charlotte, the girl from the beginning, Brian Williams' daughter in real life. I'm gonna keep pointing that shit out. And with the different hair in every fucking scene, I love it. That's one thing I noticed too. I take weird notes. It's like the beginning of this film, it could have been by Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I had to tell that joke.
Nah,
But unchunk.
All right, so we're at the point where she kidnaps the girl, and she makes the teacher Anton let her back in the school because she's got the girl tied up in her trunk, and that's just kinky enough for him, because it turns out that all along part of this deal at this school was that if you fucked up during your recital or your practice or whatever, part of the punishment was being gang raped by the dude.
Three old men.
Three old men, basically. Yeah.
Who also apparently had it done to them.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Long generations of gang rape.
You know, that's actually what word am I looking for? That's actually feasible.
Long generations of internalized misogyny.
That's right. How do you think it spreads?
I mean, gang rape.
Oh no.
That's the patriarchy
That
at
makes me
its
angry.
worst. The hatriarchy.
Yes. Yes.
The
totally.
hatriarchy. That's
Yeah.
Guys, we're not talking about that. We're talking about this movie. Come on.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, you know, it's like, okay, here's the deal. The woke shit's there, just laying out there, right? They don't beat you over the head, moral fag you with it during the whole fucking movie. All right, I'm cool with that. Here's the deal. So, all right, the last part's called Duet, and it's all about how we find out. All right, I'm telling you, spoilers. Get ready. Get ready. Rape triggers goats. I get it, dude. I get it, goat man. So it turns out that they had gotten together and planned on like making it look like she had kidnapped her, so they could get revenge on Anton, right?
Sort of. But the girl who gets her hand cut off wasn't in on it till after she gets her hand cut off.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, I'm just going to stop you right there. At this point in the story, you find out that this person who you looked up to and who has inspired you to become a celloist of like national import, one of the best players on the planet, takes away your entire livelihood for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. She also cut off one of your hands, so you really can't play video games. You can't really do a lot with one hand. She got a fucking nub.
That, but she was willing to go through getting raped in order to be like her.
Yeah, she just undid all of that. All of it.
Well, no, man. The deal was that she didn't want to go through any more of that. That's
she
why
was
cut
out
her
of
hand.
it already.
That's why she had her cut her hand off.
That's the dumbest idea ever. That's so fucking dumb.
No shit.
I mean, she's already been through the whole, the twist in the plot here that she was raped. Right?
Yeah.
Now you cut her hand off.
She was repeatedly gang raped, actually. If we want to be
and now
specific.
you cut her hand off. What the fuck?
No shit. It's not like, yeah, that's called empathy, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
And so here's the twist, folks. Drum roll, anyone? Drum roll.
Oh, hold on. Oh shit, I don't have it anymore.
Oh, you got the sound clip. Ooh, fancy.
Hold on. Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Whoops.
I think that's the wrong one.
Yeah,
This is kind of a
this
joke, but.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that works. Okay, so basically, she gets her hand cut off by this woman who she looks up to, and then joins her to get revenge on the guy that raped them and, taught them to play cellos. And yeah, the whole rape thing is bad. That's a terrible thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with this is that now you've literally made it for nothing. You have, I mean, if you're gonna weigh it on a scale of like which one is worse, I mean, look, I've never had my hand chopped off or been raped, but I'm gonna say one of those things you can go to a psychologist for, and the other one you need to get a fake hand, and will never have the motor function that you once had ever again.
Right.
I mean, if we're putting it on a scale here, you can take my butt, don't take my hand. Like,
Yeah.
please, what the fuck?
So, let's see. So the movie ends. They managed. You know, here's the deal. Paloma is one of them too. Yet they fucking kill her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So.
Well, that's because she had internalized misogyny. I mean, because she was with them.
Exactly.
Because patriarchy. She was brainwashed.
Right. She was helping them. That's right. And so they kill Paloma. They kill the two brothers, I guess is what they are, and then they take a page from Frank Miller. And God, which movie was that? It was that Yellow Bastard, I think.
Oh, you mean from what is that movie?
Sin City. No, it's Sin City. Yeah,
Sin City.
It's one of the Sin City stories. And so they cut off his dick, his arms, and his legs, and they've got him hooked up to a feeding tube down his throat. And the one chick that's got both arms is doing the bowing on the cello, and the chick with only the left hand is doing the fretting, right?
Yeah.
And that's the end of the movie.
Well, okay. Also, that was a prediction for something that I made halfway through the movie as a joke. I'm like, I bet you $10 after this, they're gonna both end up playing a cello with the one good hand they both have. And lo and behold, that shit tier writing is what we got at the end.
But the deal is though it's a Netflix special. It's like, all right, we're going to end it. All right. The first time I saw it, I kept falling asleep. Okay, when I saw it again today, I paid attention, and the movie was a little bit better than my initial take. But you know what I'm saying? It really works in places, and then in places it just falls apart. And Netflix, man, they've got to do something about letting shit, play out in a logical way. Because they like to just wrap it up. Oh, we're out of money. Both later.
I don't know that that's the reason though, because they have two actresses that demand a decent amount of cash there, and then they had the whole set. They had they had a lot going on, so this movie wasn't really hurting for budget all that much, I think though what happened is that they were just like, what now? Oh, the end. I really just think this thing suffers from some terribly bad writing and possibly a narrative that, like, look, if you didn't know, if you were not a Twitter person or somebody who's watched a YouTube video in the last, I don't know, 6 years, then this would be just like a, whoa, femme fatales, what is this? But it's like...
Well, and maybe that's what they're banking on, Brian, right?
Maybe.
Noobs, millennials.
They're aiming at boomers, is what you're
Zoomers,
saying?
They're aiming at Zoomers. Boomers have seen this shit
Zoomers are
before.
going to know. Zoomers will know.
You think?
I wish they changed, two major things about it. First, I wish they changed the fact that the black chick was also in on it from the beginning, and that whole thing that we watched was just a lie and to trick us into thinking that she wasn't when actually she was. And then I wish, what's her name? It starts with Pluma?
Paloma? Yeah.
Paloma. I wish she was also beheaded of the cult.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I wish she played a major part in it.
Yeah. She's a good actress. I like her too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I wish? I wish that one of the main characters had been male, so that the idea would not be that it was female victimhood.
Yeah.
But I mean, all right. So, but look, Last House on the Left. There's like 3 or 4 really good rape revenge movies out there.
Yes.
So we know what that looks like. This, I don't know,
Exactly.
man. I think this kind of came close. It's, you know, I don't know. There's so many.
I despise it.
The holes are big enough to plug your arm in, right?
Yeah,
But
literally.
where it works, it really works.
I also wish.
If you
Go ahead.
Okay, so watching the movie, right? I felt a little uncomfortable watching it, and I didn't understand why. And then Luigi mentioned the fact that it's very like feminazi, you know, my patriarchy bad, blah blah blah. And then like I hated that narrative because
but see, I
true.
didn't get beat over the head with that shit. That's what I protest against. You know.
But
Yeah. Well.
can I? But
Please,
as someone
keep going.
who has experienced similar things, I was just thinking like people who have been through that don't go and cut off someone's hand. We're not crazy. No one who's been through that is not like gonna do that. That's very rare and that's crazy, and it puts people who've been through that situation in a bad light. And that's why it made me very uncomfortable. And I've known many people that would never hurt someone like that in a way because she was exactly, if not even worse than her abusers.
Yes.
And that made me like, the more I think about it, it makes me generally angry. It actually pisses me off.
I think that's intentional, though. Seriously.
What up, James Tipton?
It pisses me off. The main characters actually are the ones that primarily piss me off, because that doesn't happen in real life in cults or abuse or anything, and it makes people who have been abused, especially women abusers, look crazy and look insane. And I was just like, this doesn't happen.
Or they look like supermodels from a Van Halen video.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I was saying was that I wish that instead of the ending that they had, that it turned out that all of her killing that guy and you know, stabbing Paloma in the back and all that had been just, you know, go back to the intro, right? Where it rewinds and it turns out she's just fucking crazy because the main character was in a loony bin.
Yeah, she's a cook.
And they call the cops and they just have her arrested. And that should have been the end. That would have been great. Like, oh, she's just crazy. She just thought all that happened and she's waving a knife around in their living room, you know?
Yeah, I think what everybody's expressing is just a frustration of revisiting the same crutches over and over again in storytelling, especially with Netflix, man.
It's bad on Netflix.
I don't know if they've got some kind of fucking manual or something, but yeah, they need to really look at going outside of that box, man, because I think this movie could have been fantastic. It could have been
been really good. Yeah.
Yeah, it really could have.
Well, you know what it was for me? It was like, I know a lot of people didn't like Bird Box, but I thought the concept on Bird Box was great. I thought there was a lot of great parts in Bird Box, but that the whole old white guy saying "Make America Great Again" in the middle of the movie, or make the apocalypse great again, or whatever he said. I'm like, you fucking showed your hand. Stop it. Just be subtle if you're gonna do shit like that. Like, I don't want to watch a movie, and this doesn't matter what side of the spectrum you're on. You know, you could be hardcore conservative, and if you're running around and the whole movie is America, fuck yeah. Unless you're making fun of that, I don't want to see that shit. It's garbage. You need to write movies that are good for essentially a broad base, and that is not what they're doing.
I totally agree, man. I totally agree.
Like, do you remember any political Event Horizon? Objectively, you guys all like that movie?
Yeah, that's a fucking fantastic film.
It's a fantastic movie. Is there any political lean in that movie?
No woke bullshit at all. It's just a good sci-fi
neither way.
film. Yeah.
Yeah. Why can't we have that back again? What happened? It's like 2016 hit, and just people are just, we gotta have a narrative in this one. It's gotta have some sort of political message.
Well, I was talking to somebody about this in a private conversation. It's somebody that's closer to my age. All right. I believe that with the dissolution of the Soviet Union, that the Cold War moved to the United States and became an ideological like schism that just kept going, right? And
I guess.
And now we're kind of in some kind of odd cyber Cold War, whatever you want to talk about. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting because I was watching some stuff, something old, and I cannot remember what it was, but they were talking about the Russians and shit, and it was proper, realistic display of the Soviet Union, and Chernobyl is a great example of that too. I highly recommend that. If you've got HBO, check out the Chernobyl miniseries. But I don't know, man. I felt that this thing was like if my sister called me on like a Friday night or Saturday night and said, me and my husband, we're just looking for something to watch, and we ran across this. What do you think? And I'd tell them, go ahead and watch it, man.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And that's actually literally what we did. We were like, hey, anyone want to watch this movie? It's Friday night,
Yeah.
And, like I said, you can enjoy this movie without the political undertones that are going on. Mm-hmm. But the problem is that if you know what to look for at all, you're going to see it. The mask slips super, super hard. Multiple times.
Yeah.
And so, if you're one of those people that can just turn off everything else in your brain and go, okay, well, this is a woman that's just, she's just teaming up with another woman, even though that woman cut her hand off, and, they're going to kill this person because he was a bad guy. Like, it's like, can you even listen to me saying this? Listen to me saying what I just said to you. Does that sound like a good fucking movie?
It sounds gay.
It's a Me Too.
Sounds retarded.
It's a Me Too movie.
God. And the thing is, that bothers me the most. It actually goes against their message, because they're like, women are powerful and are strong, but then they're like, but they're crazy and they're weak, and for order them to be strong women, they have to be abused. And I'm like, what?
Right. That's kind of a narrative, though. You're absolutely right. Within the feminist community, is that being a rape victim is kind of like a badge of honor in some kind of creepy, sick way.
Yeah, just like, what the fuck?
That's sad.
Yeah. Well, that's the way I felt about this movie. What would you give it out of 10, Brittany?
A 1 if you know the narrative, and then a 3 if you don't.
All right.
I'm going to give it a little bit better than that. I'm going to give it a 6.5, 7.
Yeah, that's where I would fall too.
For your everyday, person.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a movie freak, I say watch it and decide for yourself then, because you're going to watch it anyway.
Well, I guess, but
I mean, if you're determined on what, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Like, I would definitely say 6.5. and mostly it's actually not because of the external narrative that they were trying to push. It's mostly because the writing is so terrible. The director,
Yeah.
pretty good job actually. You know,
The actresses, especially the younger black chick, man, she
Yeah.
was great. I was impressed. I was impressed with her ability.
yeah, I totally agree.
I think she should do other shit besides, political. Be a political hack, man. Just me.
Because she's a good actor. Yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
She's
Well, it's
really
funny
good.
that you say that because I often think that a lot of people who are political activists and also actors are just holding their career down by not just saying, "Hey, look, I just want to be an actor."
Exactly. Bradney. So, there's some. Daz is not playing. Why? Oh, there it is. Thank you. So we got a couple minutes till we're going to wrap. Shit. What's coming up for y'all?
Are we doing? What was the forensics series we were doing? What are we doing?
Next week we'll be looking at the new forensic type series called Exhibit A. It's a Netflix series, so we're gonna check it out. And
I heard that Netflix spends a lot more money on their series than they do any of their movies.
well, that would kind of make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it totally would.
Yeah. So, and also Stranger Things is out, season 3. If you're into that, yeah. I've already watched the first 3 episodes. It's not bad, man.
It's garbage.
No,
The 80s sucked.
I was there, man. I had fun.
Yeah, they sucked.
I had a lot of fun.
That's because you're a damn boomer and you were able to profit off
I'm not a
these,
boomer.
you
I didn't
boomer.
profit. I didn't profit off
You're
this
sitting
shit.
on your millions, putting your foot on my millennial head.
I'm stepping on your neck, son.
Telling me to bow and scrape for pennies.
Oh, let's see. So James Tipton, yeah. Honestly, you couldn't pay me to watch most modern films. I missed the stuff when I was young. Terminator 2, Judgment Day, 1989 Batman, RoboCop, fuck yes, RoboCop, and Jurassic Park. Some classic good stuff.
Side note, have you seen the RoboCop parody?
No.
There's a RoboCop parody where he's stopping rapists and he shows up and he's like, "Please let go of the woman." And they're like, "What are you gonna do, huh, robot man?" And he shoots him in the dick.
Oh no, that's from the
I've
original movie.
seen that.
That's from the movie, man.
No. But it's a parody because they take it further. They
Okay.
take it
Yeah.
way
Well,
further.
in that
There's-
scene where he's got the girl, he
There's like
shoots.
dicks flopping around.
He shoots between her legs.
No, it can't be in a movie. It can't be in a movie. It's
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's
This
too
is-
many-
This has a
Pornographic
lot of nudity. Yes.
Okay, all right. So
But look
One of
for it
those.
out there if you're over 18, you know? It's
that's right.
It's quite funny. The RoboCop, at one point, he just ends up shooting like 100 dicks off.
yeah.
Okay.
And there was a shit ton of floppy dicks.
Holy moly.
Like small
Maybe I'll
floppy
link
dicks.
it to you after the show.
Oh,
You're
man.
absolutely right, Godfather. I love watching RoboCop parody porn.
Hey, y'all, be sure and like and subscribe, please. I'm trying to get to the 800 mark. Almost there.
10 away.
Yeah, man. It's weird. Because I just
Once
looked
you
up
get
and
to
I'm like,
1K,
what the fuck?
Once
Yeah.
you get to 1K, you'll have to kick me to the curb because you'll be big times, bro.
Your money's on the dresser. I'm true with you.
I'm true with you. You were just a two-bit high anyway.
Hooah! You was a hooah. A hooah. Well, Brittany, what are you going to do next week? This next week?
I have no idea. I don't have anything really planned for next week.
Okay. So, as I rate Prostate's channel, tomorrow night, of course, Cream Stream 88. We've got some special stuff picked out. The images, the video part should be very riveting for some of y'all. And Sunday, I'll be interviewing Tyro in Kuwait.
Oh, hey, Tyro.
The moon hopper himself. That's right. Woohoo. So, and on that note, shit, it's time to slide, son.
For sure, Thug Life fam.
Thug life, suck my dick.
All right, people, we'll see you next week. Thanks.